All right, everyone, thank you for joining. It is 6 o'clock Mountain Daylight Time here in beautiful Bozeman, Montana. So we're going to go ahead and get started. First and foremost, I want to thank all of you for making it to our presentation here. Hopefully throughout this admitted student presentation, you'll have the opportunity to meet other admitted students that are also potentially coming to MSU and kind of make some relationships that way. Before we start getting into all the fun stuff and answering some of those questions, getting into the Kahoot that's coming up a little bit later, I want to go ahead and share my tech slide with you guys, just in case anyone is having troubles logging into our information session. You can go ahead and give us a call at 1-855-797-9485. Our access code is 2868-658-7094. And also a reminder that this presentation is being recorded. So hopefully tomorrow we'll have everything edited out and put onto our YouTube page, not including the Kahoot that will be happening. But if you need to reference any information, we will have that readily available for you within this next day or two. So if you miss anything, you will be able to partake in those festivities and seeing that a little bit later. As I mentioned before, if you were on the Kahoot a little bit earlier, we will be playing MSU Trivia through the Kahoot app. So if you guys have the opportunity, if you're using a mobile phone, I would recommend getting out a computer if you're on through there, or vice versa. If you'd like to participate in that trivia, please make sure to have those devices ready for use. If you have like an iPad or anything like that, those are going to be some good options for you. So really quick, just so I'm not a stranger talking to you this entire time, my name is Charlie. I'll be hosting this presentation for you guys. I'm very excited to be here and to be a familiar face, hopefully for some of y'all. I do serve as an admissions counselor at Montana State University. I'm originally from Wolf Point, Montana, so I'm up from the northeast part of Montana. I'm about 6-hour drive from the Bozeman area. I grew up there. I graduated from Wolf Point High School, and then I actually graduated college from Montana State University Billings. Not to pregame a little bit, but my other coworkers that you'll be meeting, I'm the only one that has not graduated from MSU Bozeman proper, but I still have that MSU system degree and it counts. I graduated there in December of 2021 with a degree in criminal justice with minors in psychology and sociology. So I really like my ologies. If anyone wants to geek out over that, my email is on here so you can reach out to me. And then recently, I actually last Saturday just graduated with my master's degree in global and organizational leadership from York University in Nebraska. So if anyone is joining us from Nebraska, let us know. But also, if you guys have any questions throughout this presentation, or if you're looking to get connected with any of us admissions counselors, we are all on standby. If you would like to get connected with us, the best way to do it to make sure that we also answer all of your questions would be through the Q&A feature that's available. So I highly recommend not using the chat. Us admissions counselors and my staff, or my coworkers, excuse me, we will be utilizing the chat features just to throw some extra information out there so that you can reference things. But if you guys would like to, if you go to the side of your computer, or if you're logged online anyways, at the bottom there should be 3 dots, and then you can select the Q&A feature. So if you can go ahead and test that out now and let us know where you're coming from. Like I said, I'm originally from Wolf Point, Montana, so I threw mine out that way. But if you can go into the Q&A and throw out where you're coming from, that would be super awesome. I have other counselors that are also going to introduce themselves here shortly on standby, and we'll get connected that way. But as I said, I'm originally from Wolf Point, Montana. But the little fact that you don't know about me that I think everyone should know is, you probably don't get this every day, but the most important thing about me is that you're also being talked to by a college mascot. Boom, bet you don't get that every day. Here you go. That's Buzz that you see right there on the screen. I was MSUB's mascot for about 2.5 years. So I said yes one day, and somehow that lasted for 2.5 years. Great way to lose weight, though, if anyone is interested in doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and toss it over to one of my before I do that, I want to give you a quick overview of what to expect tonight. So first and foremost, like I said, we're going to have our admission staff also introduce themselves. You've been working with us throughout this entire year, so we're really excited that you're here joining us and learning a little bit more about MSU and having some fun along the way. So we're going to introduce them, say hi to them if you see them. Alongside that, as I promised, we'll do MSU Trivia through Kahoot, and we do have wonderful prizes available. So you'll want to make sure that you're on top of answering these questions because there's really good prizes that are coming. We'll also go over some of those next step opportunities that come with that quote unquote declaration that comes with MSU. So we'll talk about orientation, we'll talk about MSU debut, move-in processes. We'll also have a couple of frequently asked questions that will get answered for you guys. And then with that being said, we'll finalize our time together. And like I said, this is all recorded, so we'll go ahead and get that posted. But as promised, we're gonna go ahead and toss it over to Anders, my boss.
Good evening, everybody. So wonderful to see you all. And I want to circle back. We're all Charlie's staff. She's the one in charge tonight. So we're all rolling with her. But for the students that are joining tonight, thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much for going through your college search process with us. My name is Anders Groseth. I have the privilege of working as the Associate Director for Recruitment here at in the Office of Admissions at Montana State University. The team that you're going to meet this evening is a team that I'm fortunate enough to work with every single day, and they're a team that you've been fortunate to work with throughout your college search. And meeting somebody at a high school visit or connecting with somebody at a college fair, or when you come to visit campus, whether in person or virtually, we have a phenomenal admissions staff. And what you're going to find is that level of care and attention to detail that you've experienced throughout your college search and decision process, Montana State University is really going to come to play and continue that level of service all the way throughout your 4 years here at Montana State. So again, for those of you joining us, we've been asking where you're from. I saw Florida, I saw Washington, I saw a lot from right here in Montana. And so from coast to coast or right in the backyard, we're just honored that you are here with us this evening. We can't wait to welcome you to campus this fall. So go Cats, thanks for being here.
Hi, everybody. My name is Anna Herbert. I am one of our admissions counselors here at Montana State. So I'm in the same role that Charlie is. A little bit about me. I am a super proud MSU alumni. I studied human development and family science, graduated from here in 2019. While I was involved in school, I was part of the Honors College. I was on the Spirit Squad. I did pretty much every club you could ever think of. So it was only natural that I came back to admissions a few years after graduating. And I've really loved my time here. A little bit about me also. I am originally an out-of-state student. I grew up in the Twin Cities area of Minnesota.
Hi, everybody. My name is Emily Kappas. I'm one of our other admissions counselors. I am born and raised here in the great state of Montana, grew up about 3 hours north of Bozeman in a town called Great Falls. I'm also a proud MSU alumni, graduated from MSU in May of 23 with degrees in marketing and management from our School of Business. So if anyone wants to geek out about the business program, I am your girl. I am also a third generation Bobcat. So I've been a Bobcat since day one. And then I was super involved in our Office of Admissions as a student and didn't quite want to leave home. So I am still here and I don't think they'll be getting rid of me anytime soon. Hi guys, my name is Mandy and I am our fourth admissions counselor here in the Office of Admissions. I am also, like my other two that went before me, I am also a graduate of Montana State. I studied agricultural education, communications, and then I also got a minor in international business. So I'm a very large supporter of our College of Ag. So if anyone wants to talk about it, I love talking about agriculture. I am also an out-of-state student. I came from Auburn, California, and I'm really glad to be here. I also didn't last too long off campus. I think I was graduated for about 3 months before I started here in the office.
Awesome. So if you met with any of us, throw our names down in that Q&A. Give us a little shout out here. We're excited to know where you guys not only are coming from, but who helped you get here. We love that journey. So going into some of the different things that are happening for tonight, first and foremost, as promised, there will be prizes with the trivia. And as you can see on here, there's pretty good competitive prices. Kind of starting from the bottom, what we're gonna do is the last couple of years, we've had just a few prizes for the top 3 or 4 people that scored really high on our Kahoot. But something that we're gonna do this year is we're gonna have 15 prizes available. And so with that, all of the top 15 people that get the highest scores anyways through our Kahoot get the opportunity to get a first chance move-in, so first dibs on a move-in time when you're moving here to MSU. So that was really exciting, very thankful for housing and providing those different slots for us so that you guys have the opportunity to do that. Out of those 15, the top 3 will also get a guaranteed ticket to the Gold Rush football game. The football game Gold Rush is our first game of the season. So it's so high energy, so packed. It's just one of the highlights of MSU, one of my favorite events for sure when it comes to Bobcat football. So these tickets can get really hard to come by because it is the first game of the season. So you definitely want to make sure that you put your all into this trivia here because you'll get the opportunity, the top 3, to get that Bobcat Gold Rush football game. And then our first place winner will get those 2 things, so the move-in as well as the Gold Rush football game ticket, but you'll also get a swag pack from us. So that Bobcat prize pack is going to have all different types of things in there. So if you're looking to get decked out on your way to MSU and show up in your gear, we're ready for you, and we're happy to share that you'll also get that in the first place drawing. So going along with that, what we're going to do is go ahead and start getting you ready for the trivia. So if you haven't already, I would highly recommend getting that other electronic if possible. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a couple minutes to kind of get through that process. So what you're going to do as signing in, you're going to want to go to kahoot.it if you are logging in from online. Or if you have the app on your phone already, I'm not sure about you guys, but in high school, Kahoot was pretty popular and in college. So if you have the app ready to go, you can open that up. So go ahead and go to kahoot.it. Once you get in there, you're going to want to tap on the enter pin. I'm going to pull up the Kahoot game and we'll have a automatic pin that's created for you. So then when we get there, you'll enter that pin that is created for our Kahoot game. When you are putting in your name, 1, we want to be appropriate, but 2, we also want to be specific because there's 15 prizes that are available. So we want to make sure that you all are getting the respective prize. And so with that, when you are putting your name in, we ask that you use your first and last name as well as the state that you come from. So for example, I have mine on here. I would put Charlie Almer, and then I would put Montana, or MT for the abbreviation of Montana. You have to make sure that you use your first and last name as well as the state abbreviation, just because it helps us make sure that we're giving the right people the right prizes. So if you can please do that, that would be super awesome. Otherwise, we can't find you and we won't be able to give you the respective prizes that you deserve with that. So with that being said, we'll also have the opportunity at the very end where we will get connected with you, or actually if you would DM Anders, who introduced himself right after me, or Anna, who came right after Anders, so that we can get your information so that we could also share it that way. We're gonna ask for like your email so that we can make sure we're staying connected. If you're not able to do that, we will find you. That's why we want your first and last name as well as your state abbreviation. But if you do have the opportunity, I'd also recommend reaching out to Anders and Anna too via DM on WebEx. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and log out of this. Good job, everyone, on everything that you were able to get answered throughout this presentation. What we're going to do is go over a couple of other questions and make sure that you feel prepared. I know a lot of you are kind of going through that process of, okay, I'm going into orientation, or maybe I'm thinking about signing up for orientation. So what are some things to kind of look forward to with making sure that you feel prepared and ready for everything? If you haven't already, though, I want to throw out there, make sure with your placing up to the 15th place that you DM Anders and or Anna, or throw it out into the Q&A, your email, so that we can make sure we get all of the appropriate more awards given to you. But going back, making sure that you feel prepared and adequate, and keeping up with the most important thing, it's your undergraduate admissions checklist. We want to make sure that you're on track with this, because that's what us admissions counselors and the admissions team utilizes to make sure that you're on track with everything as you are getting started at MSU, or also making sure that you have everything prepared by the time that you attend the in-person orientation. So if you haven't already logged into your undergraduate admissions checklist, I have this slide for you so that you can kind of go through that process and know what we're looking for anyways. So in order to get to your undergraduate admissions checklist, you're going to want to log into your My Info portal. Now, where do you find that portal? Great question. What you'll want to do is go to montana.edu. At the very top, you're going to see these little blue hyperlinks. Some of them, there's one that says student, there's one of them that says faculty or staff, so on and so forth. If you see the one that says student, you'll click up on that slide or that hyperlink, and then you're going to be redirected to a new website. At the very top in big buttons, it'll say My Info. So you can log into My Info. That way you'll just click onto My Info. And then once you get to that page, this is kind of what you see on the screen here of what that will look like. So you'll have this button again that'll say log into My Info. So you can log in that way if you've already claimed your net ID and password. If you have not claimed your net ID and password, we do have instructions here, so you can snap a picture of this slide so that you can reference it. Or again, this is being posted on YouTube, so you can always reference that as well. But with these instructions, you'll want to log in and with your net ID and password. Once you have logged in, you're going to be able to go into personal information, which is a tab on there. When you select that tab, there's going to be a hyperlink. There's going to be kind of like a list, and you'll want to click the admissions checklist. On the admissions checklist, like I said, this is what our admissions team utilizes to make sure that you're on track with everything. So on there, you can see the current merit scholarship that you've been offered from Montana State, as well as hopefully accepted at this point. You could also see your housing status. You could see the orientation link on there too. So if you haven't registered for orientation, you can do that on that website in your My Info checklist. If you have already registered for orientation, you can see what is left through your orientation on there to make sure that you're on track with everything. Our online orientation traditionally always opens up May 1, so something to look forward to tomorrow if you are interested in doing that. So make sure that you go through and see all of those and make sure that everything's checked off. You'll see boxes. If the ones that are checked off, that means you don't have to worry about anymore. We already have that. If you see any boxes not checked off, that means that's something that you have to look forward in doing. Understandably so, there might be a few things that are not done on there, maybe like your transcripts from high school. We don't want that until you're done. If you're doing dual credit, AP classes, anything like that, we understand that piece. But try to get through as much as possible. A lot of it is something that you are able to get done now. So make sure to go in and double check that. If you have any questions, throw them in the chat. We can kind of help you. Or you had our emails. Again, you can always give us an email or a call tomorrow or whenever works best for you, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 Mountain Daylight Time, throwing that out there so that we can get those questions answered. Or if you're getting emails from us or text messaging, I'd also like to throw out there that all comes from real people. So it comes from our team. So just respond to it and we can get back to you with those answers. The other thing that you'll also find in your My Info checklist is your financial aid package, if that has been awarded to you through our Office of Financial Aid. So you can go in and see what they have given you. Or the other thing you could also see on there is the ability to kind of look through that orientation piece for you. So those are a couple of those things that you're available to do. As I said, you're also available to accept your scholarship in there. So as you do that, you'll notice that there's a merit scholarship that's offered. These are the merit awards, whether it was the Achievement Award or the Premier Award or the WUI or the Presidential, whatever it is that MSU gave you through our admissions office, that will be put on there. So you'll want to make sure that that's awarded in there. If you're not able to work it online for some reason, give us a call, like I said, or an email or text, whatever works best for you. There's also a page that you can print out and send it to us through snail mail if you would like as well. And that address, the Montana State University, P.O. Box 174160 at Bozeman, Montana 59717. That's where you'll want to send that piece or that letter so that we can make sure that you have that scholarship formally accepted. The other thing to keep in mind, if you're still kind of in that decision-making process about, am I going to come to MSU? I don't know. Just know that accepting all scholarships from MSU is highly encouraged and recommended. Accepting all the scholarships to Montana State does not bind you to our university. We are non-committal and non-binding institution. If you accept this award, if you got the $13,000 achievement award, it's simply just saying, hey, you gave me $13,000. That's a lot of money. Yeah, save it for me for right now. I'm still deciding. And we say, cool, we gave you $13,000. You're still deciding. We'll save it for you. That's exactly how that works. Ask the Office of Financial Aid, I promise. So that's kind of what that accepting of the scholarship looks like. So just go in, make sure that you are going and accepting that award as soon as possible. When you're registering for orientation, something else to keep in mind, like I said, you can do that through your My Info portal. Again, if you have questions, reach out, we can help you. There's two pieces, and I kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, but there's an online pre-orientation is what we call it. If you really sit down and read through everything and really spend your time on it, it maybe takes about 3 to 4 hours, kind of depending on the person. That is something that is required to be done before you attend the in-person orientation as incoming freshmen to Montana State. So with that being said, our first session, as you can see on here, Monday through Wednesday, June 9th through 11th is the first orientation. It is full, so if you haven't registered for orientation, you will not be able to choose that date. If you can only make it to that one for some reason and you haven't been able and you haven't registered for it, you could also contact our orientation team and they might be able to work something out with you. But we only have 2 sessions left, and that's kind of the same thing with session 2. Monday through Wednesday, June 23rd through the 25th this year is also full. Again, contact orientation if that's the only one that you're able to make it. They might be able to work something out with you, but the only 2 that are left as of right now that are open is our 3rd session, Monday through Wednesday, July 14th through the 16th, as well as our 4th session, which is Sunday through Tuesday, August 17th through the 19th. Our 4th session does not cap. So if you're coming from out of state and you only can make 1 trip, this is a really good option for you. If you're a little bit worried about your classes, just know that we save courses, so it's equitable for everyone amongst the different opportunities to attend orientation and have the same opportunity to register for classes. Something that's unique for the 4th session compared to the first 3 sessions is that your advisors will actually register you for classes before you attend the 4th person session. And so when you get here, you technically already have a schedule that's created. If you look at your schedule and you're like, I don't like any of these courses, I want to redo my schedule, you do have the opportunity to readjust your schedule. We do have lab time for that, but just know that that's already taken care of. So hopefully that kind of eases your worries a little bit on that side. But if you attend the 4th one, you're still going to have the same opportunity of getting into those classes, kind of determined by the advisor though on those courses. So And really quick, you can see, like I said, if you were not able to make it to the last two and you needed to join a wait list, reach out to orientation@montana.edu. That's our orientation team, and they can work with you on what might be best for you as a student. If you haven't already, there's also housing. Since MSU is a non-committal and a non-binding institution, we kind of utilize housing and orientation as those commitment pieces to us, because there's pretty big, well, the housing application has a deposit of $300. And so that's kind of what we utilize as that. So for housing, if you haven't already, we highly recommend that you apply for that. You can go to montana.edu and then /housing. And with the housing application, something that's actually new as of this year, if you listen to some of our earlier webinars anyways, we actually moved to a lottery system for housing. So something that's kind of new with that was some of the priority windows. So our priority window for the lottery was October 1st through January 31st. If you haven't signed up for housing, that does not mean that you will not get housing at MSU. It just means that you're doing it later. After January 31st, we're kind of bunched up in groups in how we send our housing bunches up in groups based off of the deadlines that students have applied. So students throughout July will hear back in bunches of this is your housing assignment. After that, you'll start hearing right as you apply. So if you apply July 29th, you'll hear back probably within for sure the next week anyways from housing. If you do have any questions about housing, or if you're interested to see what we kind of talked about for this upcoming year, I also have the link for our campus housing webinar that we did earlier. So one, you'll be able to check out some of the different residence halls and kind of see what that looks like if you're still trying to decide on which residence hall you want to live in. But I also go through that housing application with you, so you kind of know what to expect when you're applying for housing. So just know that that $300 deposit that goes to housing will go towards your housing bill. So just something to keep in mind with that. So move-in day, you're coming to MSU, you're excited, you're ready to go. What move-in kind of looks like for you as a student, if you attend if you attend orientation sessions 1 through 3, you'll have the opportunity to move in starting August 17th and 18th, and you'll sign up for some move-in slots. Those move-in slot times will come out through the housing office in July, which you can see on here. Those move-in slots will open up July 7th. It will be via email. So make sure that you keep track of your email. A lot of communication goes through that so that you'll be able to sign up for those move-in times. With those move-in times, you have 2 hours to take everything out of your car and put it into your room, and you'll get help from other members that are there helping move in. If you are attending the orientation 4, we ask that you move in the day before on August 16th, so you have the day to set your room up. So you will be able to stay in your room. If you're doing orientations 1 through 3, you're going to stay in our north or south hedges, and if parents come, they'll either stay, I believe it's in either Yellowstone or Highlight this year. So with that being said, if you need to move in Saturday, August 16th, you'll have the opportunity to fill out an early arrival request form through your housing portal. So you'll have the opportunity to go in, fill it out, and then it'll get approved through housing since you're attending that 4th orientation. If you need any help with housing at all, we're very happy to help you. However, we do have the housing pros that are also very happy to help you. So you can contact housing@montana.edu via email, or you can give them a call at 406-994-2661, and then they can make sure that they get those questions answered for you. So if you need any of those in our chat, one of my team members is going to throw in the email for housing as well as the phone number for housing so that you can take that down. But that's kind of what move-in will look like for you when you're attending MSU. So if you're thinking about, okay, well, what do I bring? What does my room look like? Every room at MSU, besides the quads and Roski, will have a twin extra large bed. So if you're buying specific bedding for it, you'll want to make sure that you get twin XL bedding. You in the quads and in the Roski, You're actually just going to have a regular twin size bed. So you can get regular twin size if you don't have that already. So you'll have a bed. You'll also have a closet, a desk, and a chair that goes with the desk, as well as a garbage bin in that area. We also have, if you're interested, a QR code on here so that you can take a virtual housing tour and see what the room will look like for you as you're coming in. It is brand new. Big thanks to our admissions counselor, Anna Herbert, on working really hard and doing our new virtual visit. So if you want to check out what that housing tour looks like, it's super, super awesome. So recommend kind of checking out the space if you haven't seen what that looks like in your specific residence hall there. Some of the things that you should bring for your respective residence halls include any desk items. So extension cords are a big plus, your chargers for phones, laptops, different things like that. If you are someone who's interested in writing with a notepad and paper, calculator, all those good things, you'll want shower items because college is a little chaotic and you don't want to be chaotic and stinky at the same time. I'm going to tell you that right now. So make sure that you bring everything necessary for the shower, laundry items, anything like that. Make sure that you bring linens for your bed, different appliances. If you're getting like hand-me-downs, those are a really good opportunity. If you need a list of what's approved through housing, again, you can find that through their website, or any miscellaneous decor. If you're looking at this list and you're like, hey, I don't know what I'm going to bring, I would say pack the essential things that you feel like you would need for at least a month, so that you kind of know, okay, this is what I need. And if you want to buy anything, like some of those bigger items or decor or anything like that, we got stores here. This isn't Wolf Point, Montana, where the closest Walmart is 100 miles away in North Dakota. We have Walmart and Target and Costco and all of those things. So if you're not like 100% sure how you want to set your room up, or if you forget something, you do have the opportunity to go to the stores right here, which is super nice. So just something to keep in mind and zhuzhing up your room or your side of the room, anything like that. So just, you could take a picture of this again, or again, it's going to be posted. We can send it to you, so on and so forth. If you're coming to MSU and you're considering your different transportation options, we do have parking passes. Freshmen are allowed to bring their vehicles to campus this year. Those parking passes will go on sale August 1st. However, they are a first come, first serve. So technically, August 1st is when they open. It is at 12 a.m. Mountain Time. So that is something to keep in mind since it is first come, first serve. Just keep that in mind. You will log into your My Info portal, click the parking services tab that's at the very end, and you'll go in and get your tag and your parking pass for your registered vehicle. So you can have a car, but like I said, it is first come, first serve on that as a freshman student. We do have bikes. It's a very bike-friendly campus. If you have scooters, skateboards, excuse me, anything like that. Hopefully not a snakeboard. That would be interesting. But bikes, it's a very bike-friendly campus. One of the biggest things, though, is that we ask that you register the serial number for your bike with our campus police, the MSU PD, just in case anything happens. Not saying that it does happen, but in the instance that it does, we can make sure that we track all platforms to ensure that we can get your vehicle back. We also do have free public transportation in the area. That includes our streamlined bus system, so you can kind of see what that looks like right here. We have the CAT Tracks campus shuttle, which is a shuttle that stays on our campus and meets different branches. There's also, like I said, that free shuttle to Bridger Bowl if you are interested as well. If you wanted to go to Big Sky, it's not free, but they also run the Skyline system. It's been $2 round trip if you're interested to go this last year, and then $2.50 one way or another. So it's a pretty reasonable price if you're interested in heading up to Big Sky and maybe saving that money that you'd spend on a tank of gas or two to put towards that lift ticket. So lots of opportunity there. We're gonna go a little over 7 o'clock here, but I want to make sure that you have some of those different opportunities to know what you're getting yourself into. So if you can hang on with me just like 5 more minutes, that'd be super awesome. going into your first 2 weeks, there's an event that is that first 2 weeks. It's called MSU Debut. With that, this is just a series of activities that happens at that beginning of the semester, where we really try to encourage our students to be engaged with each other so that you meet new people and you kind of know what you're getting yourself into with campus. And it's also just a super vibrant time on our campus as well. There's always something going on, but this is a really good way, especially that first year, that you're coming to meet a whole bunch of people and kind of create that friend group that you might be looking for. So it also helps you find that transition of, okay, I'm coming from my town. What is life like at university or at college? We have a lot of events that happen during this time. That's called you can kind of see what some of those are on here, but during MSU Debut, it's that 2-week long process. So if you're interested in checking out what that schedule looks like, I have that QR code that you can scan and see what this fall is looking like for you. These are all different types of events that happen throughout that time. The food truck rodeo is a large hit. The M photo is really exciting. You can see that. That's where we take our entire freshman class. You're all given your gold shirt, and then we take our picture together. So that was really exciting. Debut concert, service projects, Catapalooza, so on and so forth. There's just a lot of events that happen throughout the summer. With that being said, Catapalooza is definitely one of the fan favorite events. You can kind of look through here, but the easiest way, since we're going a little past 7, to explain it is on Catapalooza, it's very equivalent to if you've seen Pitch Perfect or Monsters University when they're kind of walking along the sidewalks of their institution, and all those booths are set up and they're joining all of these different like spooky clubs or singing clubs, so on and so forth. So it's a pretty exciting event, and you accidentally sign up for over 100 clubs because you're trying to get all the free Dr. Pepper Zero that you possibly can. Not saying that from experience, or am I? I don't know. But if you are interested, just to keep up with us, Montana State University does have a few specific pages for you guys as students. If you are wanting for the students specifically, and you have Facebook, Montana State University Class of 2029 is a really good page to follow. You can meet other incoming students, which will be super exciting. If your parents want to be a part of a Facebook page too, same thing, except it's dash parents, so they can join and kind of see what that community looks like. The other thing that we'll also plug is the Montana State University just main Instagram page. Theirs is really fun to look at. However, we also do have a Montana State admissions page as well. So Montana State admissions, I know Declaration Day is coming up tomorrow, however, or on May 1st. However, if you are wanting to meet other incoming students and maybe follow some of them, if you want to, even though we're not we don't follow declarations since we're not a committal school, we'll kind of play into it a little bit. But if you want to take your picture and declare and tag us in social media on that Montana State admissions, we will share so that you can kind of see who's coming to college and meet some students that way. So it's pretty fun and exciting. I think Emily, our admissions counselor who runs the social media page, is pretty exciting. So, and our Kahoot winners that you can see that we went over here was Noah in first place, Roger in second, and Zachary in third. If you haven't already, please make sure if you got in that top 15 to work with Anders and Anna, send them your email address. If not, we could also reach out to you and make sure that we get everything. I do want everyone to know that I did make this slide. It's that marketing major in me. It's beautiful, right? That is an awesome Bobcat right there. So with all of that being said, we are going to go ahead and skip the Q&A. If you do have any specific questions, just please reach out to me. There's one thing about me, I can chat a lot and I won't do that. Let's do it over the phone instead. So reach out to us. We can get all of those questions answered for you. Charlene.almer is my email. We'll send out, again, a recording of this tomorrow. Anna.herbert is Anna's email. Amanda.brandt2 at montana.edu is Mandy's email. And then Anders.groseth@montana.edu is Anders' email. Or if you don't remember any of that, admissions@montana.edu. emailed us, and then we can get those questions answered. So again, I want to thank everyone for attending, and you can see those emails on here. I appreciate your time. I took 5 minutes away from you. So very thankful. I'm very excited for you guys to come in the fall. Reach out if there's any questions. We're very excited to see you at orientation. Fingers crossed. Again, like I said, reach out. Go Cats go. We'll see you really, really soon. So thanks everyone for attending. I appreciate everyone's time.